So when it comes to this movie, I feel like it should have either been titled like a WandaVision 2.5 or maybe Doctor Strange versus Scarlet Witch, because let's be honest, Doctor Strange is not the only person traveling the multiverse in this movie. And one could argue that Scarlet Witch probably did it a little smoother. Just saying. What you watching? Hey guys, so I just seen the movie Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and it was... For starters, I just want to say, if you're watching this movie, you better have seen WandaVision, because if you didn't, you will be a little lost. Basically, the ending of the show, it revolves around Wanda, aka the Scarlet Witch, coming to terms with the fact that she is the Scarlet Witch, and this knowledge was brought to her by one Agatha Harkness, who was actually in control of this book called the Darkhold, which is this evil book of demon soul spirit spells that can do anything. And with the contrast of the Darkhold, you have the Book of the Vishanti, which is literally the exact opposite of the book, and it's what we call the movie's MacGuffin in this movie, because that's what we're trying to get to the entire movie. And spoiler alert, I guess, when we finally get to the book, it doesn't really do anything because it kind of gets destroyed almost instantly. At that point, it really makes you think, what now? But going back to the beginning of the movie, I loved the fact that this movie just immediately, right out the gate, like as soon as the movie started, it just dropped you into the story. And oh, man, the story is basically America Chavez on the run with a version of a Doctor Strange running from some demon creature trying to get her powers. I don't really know too much about her, I'll be honest. But with America Chavez, all I really know about her is she can punch through portals and create other she can punch through reality and kind of enter and travel the multiverse any way she sees fit. The only problem is she can't control it. So Doctor Strange and America Chavez, they're in that labyrinth and they're running, and then that weird demon creature catches up to them, ends up killing that reality's version of Doctor Strange, and almost catching up to America Chavez before she manages to make a portal by accident, and she ends up falling into our universe, or at least the MCU universe. This movie sets up certain things such as realities and multiverses and your windows to the soul of that. They basically say, hey, your dreams are basically gateways to another universe of yourself. I love when the Marvel universe gets weird, and Doctor Strange is the ground, Doctor Strange is like the ground level when it comes to weird shit, because he's a sorcerer or a wizard or whatever. So when you see the things he does in the very first 15 minutes of the movie, you see him like conjure up like a fish creature that can eat cars to save a lady from crossing the street or something, and you see him throw his hands, project his hands to pick up a pole. According to reports and stuff, Doctor Strange is at his most powerful at this point. So yeah, and it shows. Wong comes to realize and sees that that creature has little runes or markings on its body that were put in place by a witch. Doctor Strange says, I know a witch, and maybe we can use our witch to stop this witch. So Doctor Strange goes down to Wanda, like, hey, what's up, Wanda? How's it going? Oh, wow, look at these nice apple trees and orchids. Look how beautiful this place is. It almost feels real. You find out that she is or has been corrupted by the Darkhold. She's been using it for a while, probably since the end of WandaVision. And she basically comes out and says that she was actually the person hunting America Chavez, and she was the person who killed the previous Doctor. She did it all. It was Wanda all along. Make that a remix. As soon as Wanda basically admitted, she was like, yeah, I was kind of hunting America because I wanted her powers to go into a different universe to find my kids because I miss them, And Doctor Strange is like, so what happens now? We all know that Wanda, in the span between Infinity War all the way up to WandaVision in this movie, she's been through a lot of trauma and grief and stuff like that, and everyone processes grief in their own different way. And sometimes you may think to yourself, man, I wonder what Wanda would have been like had she potentially went and seen a therapist. But hey, everyone has their own way of dealing with grief. I'm not going to judge that or put any shade on that. So Wanda, if you feel like you need to destroy the entire universe or multiverse just to get into your contact with your kids to deal with that, fine. But with this, when Wanda goes through Carmartage, like, and when Wanda's basically on the hunt for America Chavez and Doctor Strange are trying to get away from her, it's legitimate like a horror movie. For example, they're in like a room, and then Wanda's like trapped in a mirror dimension, and then she's like sucking people through the ground through puddles of water, and yeah, that's just fucking scary. Like, and even when how she escapes the mirror dimension, she kind of does that little body horror thing when they, when you know that thing where they're kind of like, you know, she rips through Carmartage, she goes through everybody. It's just Wong, Doctor Strange, and America Chavez right now. America, she just opens up a portal behind her, and Doctor Strange just tackles her into that portal, and they go on that little space trip. And this is a part of Doctor Strange that I truly admire because I love the visuals. And this one, granted, it wasn't as trippy as the first Doctor Strange movie with the hands rolling on hands kind of thing, but this one was still pretty like, I mean, I didn't catch. I mean, they really went through a bunch of different universes, and I didn't catch any Easter eggs or anything like that. Maybe they had like a cell shaded version of it, which kind of reminded me of like the Spider-Verse Miles Morales universe, but they end up tripping all the way into this universe where they come to the idea of saying, okay, we're in a different universe. But maybe if I can find a version of myself, maybe we can get back to our universe because who else could help me out but me? And we come to find out, they get to the Sanctum Sanctorum, and who are they greeted by? Baron Mordo. At first, you're seeing him, and you're like, oh, what's going to happen here? Because they're kind of sizing each other up and stuff like that. And I hate that trope because I kind of seen it where it was going to be like, let me guess, he's going to try to be his friend, and then he's gonna trick him. And yeah, it went just like that. He was like, hey, my brother, Doctor Strange, what's up, man? Tell me about your universe. I know you're not from my universe, obviously, but talk to me about your universe. Mordo gives this really weird backstory, or it's pretty cool, actually, this backstory about the capabilities of the Darkhold when it comes to Scarlet Witch and what they can do. Basically, this thing called dream walking, which is Scarlet Witch kind of like projecting her consciousness out there, and she's taking a hold of a version of herself from a different reality and using it as like a puppet. And she does. I don't really care or know too much about the Illuminati. I know they're like a contingency plan for the Earth to make all these decisions and stuff like that. For example, like that Secret Wars comic. We'll get to that one later because this is very much setting up that. But like the Secret Wars comic where there was two Earths about to crash into each other, and they had to make a decision on whether to destroy that Earth or let the Earth destroy each other. And they basically came to a decision to have Captain America hold the Infinity Gauntlet and snap away that other planet, killing it. But then another planet appears, and then like 2 days later or whatever, it's supposed to crash into Earth as well. So what they do? That's basically like my extent of my knowledge for the Illuminati. And in this version of the Illuminati, you have one Reed Richards, played by John Krasinski, which fan casting, everyone loved it. I did a little subtle clap because like seeing that version of Reed Richards, even the suit and everything, like it just looked like it fucking looked cool. Captain Marvel with Monica Rambeau, you're seeing Captain Carter with Haley Atwell, you're seeing Black Bolt, and they're saying him by his real name, Blackaga Boltagon. And finally, you see the the guy, the man, the myth, the legend, the wheelchair, Professor X, wheeling in with that little. Well, first they go over why they killed the previous Doctor Strange, and that was just kind of like okay. And I get why they did it, because apparently this Doctor Strange was corrupted, and then he caused an incursion, causing a reality to get destroyed, killing billions and trillions of people and stuff like that. So they said, yeah, you gotta go. And in that little flashback, you see like a dead Thanos, and then you see all the heroes. And again, it just looks sweet, and when you just see, and then of course he gets killed by Black Bolt, releasing his ultra powerful scream. And I even like how they did it because, it was kind of him just whispering, I'm sorry. And that I'm sorry just kind of like echoed and echoed and echoed, and the frequency got higher, and it was just like, oh gosh, I see it. But honestly, everyone in that Illuminati team, they kind of sucked, and they all died with the exception of Mordo, which his what the wasted is the word I would use, because him and Doctor Strange get into a little fight, fine. But then Doctor Strange, like, oh no, they fall into this little maybe like 10-foot divot in the room. And you can get out of there if you really wanted to, because Doctor Strange just kind of like does like a little Assassin's Creed thing, and he's out. Mordo is just like, oh man, I guess I can see why I didn't like you in my other universe. And then that's it. Yeah. So no one's ever been stuck down there before. But then after Wanda gets a hold of America, they just retread exactly what they did in the beginning of the movie, but just with a different love interest or a different female character. But Doctor Strange, towards the end of the movie, he finally figures out what he needs to do, and what he needs to do is the same thing that literally every other version of himself did, which was giving himself over to the Darkhold. Then things get wacky, or I guess, where it eventually, like, when he first possesses that evil dead body, he's of course being tracked by the souls of the damned, but then he gets that word of encouragement from Christine. You know, he gets a word of encouragement from Christine to say, use it. Use the souls, Stephen. Then he does, forming them into his army, somewhat like Dracula Untold, but with souls instead of bats, where he creates like this soul cape and he flies over to Wanda where she's in this Darkhold temple, basically trying to kill America. And she has these four, what do you call them? Henchmen, I guess, that are just rock nameless creatures, and they're just there. Then Doctor Strange and Wanda have a little fight, and it's good. Doctor Strange basically, he did end up getting the upper hand on Wanda, and what he used was, and not magic, like he didn't fucking cast any spells on her or anything, like with the ring and stuff like that. He literally just threw the souls at her, and then those souls basically held her long enough for Wong and Doctor Strange to use some kind of entrapment spell just to hold her, so that and this is Wong's idea. Wong's like, hey, Doctor Strange, take America's power, use it. It's the only way. Kill the fucking kid. Wanda is, in this case, like I said, an unstoppable force, and Doctor Strange wasn't going to stop her, Wong, nor America Chavez. She literally had to stop herself, and she kind of comes to that realization saying, I was corrupted. I will not let anyone be corrupted again by the Darkhold. And she destroys that temple and seemingly kills herself. But we all know in the Marvel Universe, if there's no body, there's no body. Like, if you don't have a body, I mean, what really died? I mean, granted, when you see the castle temple collapse, you do see that spark of red, just kind of like a red explosion or whatever, but that could be anything, so that's basically it, really. The story comes to an end where Doctor Strange takes America Chavez under her wing, where she's trying to practice magic and stuff like that, and Doctor Strange just goes about his business, going about his merry way, and then as he's crossing the street, he just holds his head and screams out, and then there's a little third eye just pops up out of nowhere, and I can't get used to that effect. Of course, we have our post-credit scenes. 2 of 2 in this case, but actually 1 of 2 is really important in this case. The first post-credit scene, we do see Doctor Strange walking on his merry way, and then we see a being who I can only assume is Clea, which is, Doctor Strange's love interest from the dark dimension and blah, blah, blah. And she's just saying, hey, you opened an incursion and we're gonna fix it. And then she slices through reality where it looks like the dark dimension. Like, it looks like where he was in Doctor Strange Part 1. And then Clea just says, oh, we're gonna fix it. Are you scared? And then Doctor Strange kind of like whips off his fucking scarf, turns it into a cape, and then says, not scared, or he says something along those lines, and then reveals that ugly third eye again. And then they jump into the portal and the scene ends. So that's basically my whole review on Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Was it good? I think so. Will I watch it again? Yes. Will I get it on DVD or Blu-ray or HD or whatever? Of course. Doctor Strange, have you seen it? What did you think? Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, did you like it? Did you dislike it? Let me know down in the comments and we can talk about it. So next up will be Thor, Love and Thunder. I think there's another hero movie. I don't really know, but I don't know. For now, next Marvel movie is Thor, so let's see what happens.